Hi, and welcome to CVC Interviews. My name is Joyce Vaudreuil from Vernon. And today, as usual, we're talking to local people who help local people. Tonight, we have a representative from Foodshare. Sherry Trice is here with us. Thank you for coming in.
Happy to be here.
Very happy to have you. Sherry's going to introduce us to Foodshare, what it does, who it services, and you might be surprised with the number of different people that they do help. So, Sherry,
Yes.
tell me a little bit about how you got started with Foodshare and what your fancy title is.
Well, my fancy title is the Director of Giving for Foodshare, which is the best title anyone could ever have.
Absolutely.
But it really sums up, just in 3 words, the work that we do, and that is all about giving in our community. I've been with Foodshare for about 1.5 years. Jason Jakubowski, who's our CEO, asked me to join in January of 2018, and I couldn't resist. Wonderful people, great organization.
Director of Giving.
Yes.
Yes. Someone kind of said, "Oh, you sound like Santa Claus."
I would love to be Santa Claus, actually, but there are days I actually do feel like Santa Claus. I've been very blessed to become part of this organization. I think I get more out of it than I actually give. Part of my role is actually about making connections between people, helping donors to really figure out what our mission is and what we're trying to accomplish in our community. So when I make those connections, it's really a gift to me.
And that's why you're here, because we met you through the Manchester Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, yes.
Wonderful organization.
Great chamber.
I love an active chamber because they are the backbone of a community. They pull together all the local talent, and everybody helps each other. So since we have this forum of our wonderful station here, what are some of the key bits of information you want people to know about Foodshare in the areas it serves, Hartford, Tallinn County?
Sure. I think the most common misconception that we have about Foodshare is that we're a food pantry. And many people think that, we are housed in a church basement, in a local community. And while we do serve all of our local communities in Hartford and Tallinn counties, our primary warehouse is located in Bloomfield. We have a 50,000 square foot warehouse located in Bloomfield, Connecticut. And from that warehouse, we are able to get food out to nearly 300 food pantries and partner programs in Hartford and Tallinn counties.
Wow. So you are working under a well-oiled machine.
We have to be. We have to run. We are a nonprofit. We have to run our nonprofit as if it were a business. The majority of the funds that we need come from donors out in the community. It could be business donors, like members of the local chamber. It could be larger corporations, but in all honesty, our primary fundraising base is donors like you and me, people out in the communities who want to help their own local food pantries.
There are so many ways to help. I mean, obviously, a cash donation is always great because then you can use that where you need it.
Yes.
But the other ways to help, I mean, you do wonderful things like, your annual walkathon every spring.
Yes.
Even in the terrible weather, you can still get a good turnout.
We did. We just recently had our Foodshare Walk Against Hunger, and we launched, just as we did last year, out of the Hartford Yard Goats Stadium at Dunkin' Donuts Park.
Go Yard Goats.
Go Yard Goats. And we had about 2,500 people last Saturday on a chilly, chilly day. But it's all about raising awareness of our mission. We have it every spring for a number of years now, and it's free. So anyone can come and participate and form a team and collect donations to raise funds for the cause, but also to raise awareness as we walk through the streets of Hartford about our work. And the fact that in our area alone, there's 121,000 people who are food insecure.
So when you use the phrase food insecure, you're talking about average families individuals who just can't seem to make it stretch to the end of the month.
That's right. And, I think there's another misconception of, people who are hungry. There can't be anybody like that in our area. And there are people who can't make it until the end of the month. We've had stories of individuals who've had to decide between paying a medical bill or a prescription bill and buying food, or filling their oil tank and buying food. It's very common, unfortunately, among our senior population as well, who may be on a fixed income and have to make a hard choice between filling their prescriptions or buying food or paying rent or paying their mortgage. And that's just a fact of the way it is here in Connecticut, in our region. It's not an inexpensive state to live in, as you well know.
Yes, I have found that out.
Yes.
You're balancing out the beauty and everything else in the state with,
yes.
Oh no, another tax, another,
right.
Something else to come up that interferes with. How
That's
am I
right.
going to get sustenance?
That's right.
One of the programs I'm personally interested in hearing more about is your program about student hunger.
Yes.
And we're not just talking about grammar school children. K through 12 has already been aware of it, but we're also talking about college-age students.
Yes.
So what are some of the things you can tell us
Yes.
about the K through 12 or the college programs?
Yeah, and there's been a lot of, in the summertime, you tend to hear a lot about children who need to take home backpacks from summer programs so they have enough to eat on the weekend. But the missing piece of that has often been the college-age students. And in particular, in some of our community colleges in our region, there are many students who are going back to school after having been away for a few years. So it may not be 18 or 19-year-olds right out of high school. It may be students in their 20s who are going back to school to get an education, to further their careers, to provide for their families. And in many cases, these 20-somethings already have begun families of their own, or perhaps can't afford the tuition by themselves, and they are having to make the hard choice between tuition and food, sometimes food for their own families, sometimes diapers if they have young children. And so we've partnered with Manchester Community College. They formed the Cougar Pantry
excellent.
in 2016,
Excellent.
and we provide food to that pantry. And students are free to go into that pantry in between their classes or before school to pick up the items that they may need to get them through the day or to bring home afterward for their families. Because we know that you can't get a good education if you're hungry. You can't study, you can't focus if you are, food insecure.
I know that firsthand experience being a teacher in high schools. The stress on the students to get to school, take all these assessments and tests, yet the only time they may eat is they might be able to get there in time to get a morning breakfast, maybe lunch. But those may have been the only 2 meals they've had in the last 24 hours.
That's right.
So it's scary to think what children and young adults are going without.
Right.
With a college student, they can go to the Manchester Community College. That's great.
That's right.
How would someone find out the nearest place to go to if they were in need?
Right on our website, which is www.foodshare.org.
Yes.
There are many places on the website which direct you where you can go to get help. But when you go to our homepage, if you click on the upper right-hand corner, there is a section that says, How do I get help? And if you click on that, it will direct you to all of our partner pantries and also our mobile food share locations as well.
Oh, well, that's something new. I never heard of that.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing a mobile food share?
Many, many years. And the easiest way to explain a mobile food share truck is it is a mobile pantry on wheels. So we go to those places where there is no brick and mortar food pantry. Such as a local church parking lot.
To service a community.
To service a community.
Specific.
So for example, I know that This station reaches many locations east of the river.
Yes.
So we have a mobile food pantry in the town of Tolland at the United Congregational Church, right on the town green every other Thursday. We have mobiles that go to Hebron, to Coventry, and throughout our local area. 5 days a week, they are out on the road, usually filled with fresh produce, some kind of protein, some kind of meat that we have rescued from retail partners. So then when people come to our mobiles, they don't have to leave their own town. They can simply come with a reusable bag. We don't ask for identification or income verification because we're very respectful of people's privacy, but they can certainly come and get the food that they need right at our local mobile.
Your distribution network is amazing, and
Thank you.
I love that it's very clear, the webpage is very clear. You do separate Hartford County from Tolland County, which is understandable for logistics-wise. But if someone wanted to donate cash or wanted to donate food, you said you rescued food.
Yes.
How would they go about contacting the Director of Giving?
I am right on the website, of course, so you can find me there. But there's also a general phone number listed right on our website where people who are interested in donating food or cash can certainly do that directly on the website, as well as volunteer. Every year we have thousands of volunteers, and last year, in 2018 alone, we had over 6,000 volunteers come to help us do our work. Because if we didn't have those 6,000 volunteers, we would have to hire an additional 24 full-time people. And we're a nonprofit, and we can't afford that. So we're always looking for volunteers to help us in our offices in Bloomfield and also at our regional market in Hartford as well. But we can certainly provide lots of opportunities for people to donate or volunteer right on our website.
Wonderful. I like that you have all different opportunities, so you can even do work in a warehouse. I know some folks don't necessarily want to work on the front lines, so I would like to talk more about what an opportunity for a volunteer would look like, but we'll do that. We'll come back. We're going to take a brief break. Please listen to some of our announcements and join us as we talk more about what you could do as a volunteer or what they might be able to do for you in the community. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back.
Every year, millions of working American families and their children hide their struggle with hunger. It doesn't need to be that way. Hunger hides, but we can help. Let's end hunger in America.
Foodshare is changing what it means to be a food bank.
Providing food for people who are hungry has been at the heart of who we are.
For 35 years.
And we will continue this work
for as long as there are people in need.
But hunger is bigger than food.
Hunger is one piece of a patchwork of social issues.
And it needs solutions that deal with all sides of the causes and consequences.
This is the work that lies ahead.
Collecting and distributing 11.5
million meals worth of food each year
through a network of partner agencies
gives us a stark understanding of the everyday realities of food insecurity.
This perspective is critical
to creating a complete picture of the issue
and establishing a shared foundation on which
hunger organizations,
policymakers, and the broader community can build effective solutions.
We are under no illusion about the challenge we are embracing.
Hunger is big.
We believe the Foodshare community is bigger.
Hi, welcome back, CVC Interviews. My name is Joyce Vaudreuil from Vernon, and I'm here talking with Sherry from Foodshare. It is a wonderful organization that services Hartford and Tolland County. And just before we took a brief break, we were talking about volunteers, and I said, oh, it's a great thing for, say, high school students.
Yes.
But you said you could be as young as what?
12.
12 to volunteer.
12 to volunteer, yes. So we're happy to have families come in over the summertime when the kids are home from vacation or home from school on vacation. Even during, spring break, we had some kids in to help us sort through the food that's been donated to us. It's great.
So you also were talking earlier about some Boy Scouts and Girl Scout troops that would come in, and
yeah, so we love to have organizations in. We love to have other nonprofits come in and help us sort food, children's organizations. But the other thing we love to have in is business groups. Oftentimes companies will come in and send certain...
for team building exercises?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So, they have a good time,
yeah.
Sorting through food to make sure, that the food that we're distributing out on our mobiles or to our partner pantries is good food. But at the same time, it can also be a team building exercise, and they can have a little bit of fun with it. And we often take their picture as a group when they're done sorting and let them know how many pounds of food that they've sorted for us on that particular day.
Wow, that sounds like it could be an impressive number.
It can.
Speaking of pounds of food, one thing that a lot of folks who donate, such as myself, we're curious, for every $1 I donate, like how much food could you get for $1?
2.5 meals, so 2.5 meals. And I see the look on your face,
I'm surprised,
right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people will say, well, how are you able to do that? And we really work on scale. So we are able to go out and collect food from some of our large retail donors and bring it back to Foodshare. And we may get pallets of imperfect potatoes or tomatoes or bananas that are just beginning to get the brown spots on them.
The best time is when they...
Well, it is, but when you buy your bananas, you want to buy them when they're a little bit green, so they'll stay on your own kitchen counter for a while before you eat them. But when they start getting a little bit, brown, people won't buy them. And the stores recognize that, and they will give those bananas, slightly speckled bananas, or imperfect tomatoes or potatoes, and they will donate those items to us. We, in turn, can package them up after we inspect them, get them out on our mobile food trucks, and also to our partner pantries. And I did want to mention, too, we've got over 70 mobile sites as well that we travel to.
Wow.
But that's really how our process works. We could not do it without our volunteers helping us to sort through food.
It does sound like a lot of different types of work, too, for volunteers.
Yes.
But the food you get, you have some heavy hitters that donate food.
Yes, we do.
Who are some of your contributing companies?
And we're grateful to all of them. Yeah. So, Stop and Shop has been a huge partner of ours. They were also our presenting sponsor at our Walk Against Hunger. Oh. Big Y has always been a huge supporter of us. Price Chopper, Price Right, ShopRite, some of the many. And of course, here locally, Highland Park Market is a great supporter of ours, so I have to mention the Devaney family as well.
That is wonderful. I appreciate you being able to recognize your corporate sponsors, your business sponsors, because you're closing the gap of food waste.
That's right.
And still helping people. So at the very least, if somebody knows of a company, you work for a company, that you see there's food going to waste that could be used, they could contact you. You're the director of giving. You know how to direct where to go.
Yes, I do. And sometimes I think I'm the director of receiving as well. But yes, we're really grateful to work with our many corporate partners who bring food to us. And we will also send some of our trucks out to pick up food as well. We also have many volunteers who are part of our Retail Rescue program, which is another program for volunteers.
Retail Rescue.
Yes.
Oh, it sounds like you need a cape. If you're gonna
Yes, or a Superman.
There you go.
Yeah. So our Retail Rescue volunteers will once a week go into some of our local stores, such as Target, and go into the back door and pick up food from there, because they also sell food there as well.
Oh, yes, yes.
And we'll pick up food at those local retailers and get it directly to some of our partner food pantry agencies. So some of the smaller shipments, if you will, can bypass the warehouse at Foodshare and go directly to partner agencies. So they are really rescuing food that otherwise would have gone to waste.
So the food doesn't even have to go to Bloomfield to be distributed.
That's right.
It could be picked up locally.
That's
I did
right.
not know that. That is a wonderful bit of information.
Yes, yes.
So if you're also part of a business that wants to partner up, are there things other than perishable food, or other things other than food that people could donate?
Absolutely, and I get back to the dollars, of course, because you know, many people wonder, where do the dollars actually go? And the dollars are so important to us because they really help us to keep our trucks on the road, for example. We have 2 mobile trucks, those 2 mobile pantries I was talking about, that go to 70 sites. We have 3 trucks that are constantly delivering food, picking up food from retail partners, delivering it to local pantries. And all of that has a cost.
Sure.
We spend way over, you know, $500,000 every year just keeping our 5 trucks on the road.
Wow.
So that's getting food from point A to point B. So there is a cost to do that. We have a very large refrigerator at our warehouse in Bloomfield that's the size of a medium-sized home. And to keep our food fresh, that has a cost associated with it as well.
Sure.
So, you know, when we're talking about the issue of hunger and the issue of food insecurity, we often neglect to talk about what it costs to make all of that good work happen. So we're grateful for donations of dollars. We're grateful for in-kind donations of advertising. We don't have a advertising budget. So, you know, signage and things like that, you know, anything that local businesses and people can do to spread the word about our work is extremely valuable to us. Which
is one of the reasons we're so happy that when we approached you about, you know, from the Manchester Chamber, like, oh, you got to come on, We love programs like yours.
And I love the Chamber. We've been really welcomed by everyone at the Chamber.
Sure, yeah.
It's a huge organization. I was pleasantly surprised to see the number of members there, and many of them have already engaged with Foodshare, which is wonderful. So we are most grateful to be a member of the Chamber now. And you know, we've always been doing good work east of the river. We didn't always talk about it, and I think it's time to let people know about some of our work so they can become involved in a way that's comfortable for them.
So your food donations are generally not the post office is collecting groceries this week. So you're not the individuals, I'm going to donate these 6 cans of coffee.
Correct.
Individuals donate with time and money.
Right.
So what someone would have spent on 6 cans of coffee, it would be easier for you just to get a check. That way the cash can go further.
That's right. And we also partner with other food banks in our network. We are part of the Feeding America network, which is the umbrella organization. About 200 food banks across the country belong to Feeding America. So we can partner and purchase in bulk, if you will. So if we do not get donations of jars of peanut butter from a large retail partner, we can go out and use the buying power of our many food banks and get jars of peanut butter for $1. And if you were to buy those at the grocery store, it's about $3 or more a jar.
Oh, yes, yes.
So we might be able to get 40 jars of peanut butter for $40 versus someone going out and spending $3 a jar and then donating them to us. So we're really able to leverage our buying power as well with every dollar that we have.
And I would imagine that truck and car repair places can help you out immensely with in-kind donations of services.
We are happy to talk to anyone who wishes to, contribute in any way. We are only a little bit above 50 people.
Wow.
And with that little number of a little over 50 million or 50 people last year, we provided enough food for 11 million meals.
That's quite impressive. Very
11
impressive.
million, yeah.
And there's never seems to be enough. Enough time, enough food, enough money, so you're always building on that. I really hope that by coming in today we've helped some other people out there, maybe divert some of the funds and have you get donations directly.
Thank you.
I think it's a wonderful organization. It's very well run.
Thank you.
And I'd like to say that if you would like information about it, Foodshare has a great web page. You can go to their webpage, foodshare.org, is it? Foodshare.org. You can click on either Hartford or Tolland County or just in general to get information, which is what I did. I had heard of Foodshare myself, so to go on the webpage, it was very informative. But a lot of these great tidbits of information, wonderful. That's a lot of meals you've provided.
Yes, we're very, we're very proud of 11 million meals, but at the same time, we wish we didn't have to do 11 million meals.
Isn't that always the way? Yeah.
But we're grateful that we're able to do this work, and I would encourage anyone who's listening to this who may know of someone who needs help or who needs help themselves I encourage them to go on our website to find locations where they can get help themselves or provide information to someone.
Help with dignity, too.
Help with dignity.
I like that. I like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you
very much for joining us tonight, CVC.
Thank you for having
me. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. And join us again for CVC Interviews. This is Joyce Vaudreuil from Vernon. Thank you.
All of us here at Foodshare would like to acknowledge and thank our dedicated volunteers during National Volunteer Appreciation Month. Last year, over 6,100 volunteers gave over 47,000 hours of service to Foodshare. That's equal to having 24 additional full-time staff members. Our volunteers helped collect, sort, and distribute more than 11 million meals. 900 seniors received monthly boxes of food, and 530 households applied for SNAP benefits with the help of our trained volunteers. Without you, this work would not have been possible. You help us make a difference in the lives of our neighbors in Greater Hartford who struggle with hunger. From all of us here at Foodshare, we can't thank you enough.